In the following presentation, we will talk about the life of Giovanni da Verrazano by Anish Pranav Omar and Abdurrahman. Giovanni da Verrazano was born in the year 1485 somewhere in a town near Florence. The exact details of his birth are not known because of other reasons. Verrazano was the son of Piero Andrea di Bernardo da Verrazano and Fiammetta Capelli. He had one sibling who was his brother Girolamo da Verrazano. His family had a good background and was also very wealthy. When Verrazano was a child, he was always very curious and asked lots of questions. He also loved to read books, especially books about traveling and exploring. Since Verrazano had lots of friends, he loved playing and studying with them. He also excelled in math. Not a lot is known about his childhood. Giovanni da Verrazano studied in Florence. He is known to have been very good at studying and he did extremely good in mathematics. His family was very wealthy, so he had a good education. He was also well educated in cartography and navigation. All that helped him become such a great explorer. Verrazano's career began when he convinced King Francis I to let him go on a voyage on behalf of France to the west. He took 4 boats with him, but in the end, only one boat, Delfina, survived. Like many explorers in the past, Verrazano was looking for a passage to Asia. He became maritime. He made voyages to America and met many people there. After his voyages, he charted many new places and helped other explorers with his maps. Giovanni da Verrazano was introduced to adventure and exploration at an early age. He first headed to Egypt and Syria, places that were considered mysterious and nearly impossible to reach at the time. Verrazano's most famous voyage was the one where he traveled through the dangerous waves of the Atlantic Ocean and discovered the Atlantic coast of America stretching from New York to the southern state of Florida. Leaving from the Madeira Islands off the coast of Portugal on January 17, 1524, Verrazano and his crew officially set sail for the New World. He landed near present-day Cape Fear, North Carolina in March 1524. He was met and welcomed by Native Americans who offered him and his crew food. Verrazano and his crew became the first known Europeans to sail into New York Bay. In the year 1524, Giovanni da Verrazano was appointed by King Francis I of France by a letter delivered to explore further west along the continent of North America. During his voyages, he discovered the Atlantic coast of the United States. He is also credited with discovering the Virginia and Delaware Capes, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Massachusetts Bay, and the Maine coast. Verrazano always kept a diary with him to record about his experiences. In his diary, Verrazano explains how the nature around him is beautiful, and he talks about the wildlife like the deers that graze there. Verrazano also says that the air is not cold or warm. In his diary, he talks about how he sent one young sailor to the island to give them goods, but he started drowning in the water. The tribe that was looking at him rushed in and saved the young sailor. Verrazano seems to admire these people because he says that the people are handsome and hardworking. Verrazano says that he was originally trying to travel to Asia and was amazed by this huge obstacle. Giovanni da Verrazano died in 1528 in the city of Guadalupe at the age of 43. He left France for his final voyage with his brother Girolamo. Verrazano sailed across Florida and ended in the Caribbean Sea. When they were sailing south of Jamaica, Verrazano and his team spotted a highly vegetated and unpopulated island supposedly. They went to the island and a group of the people living on the islands attacked him. Little did Verrazano and his crew know these people were cannibalistic. They ate Verrazano and his crew while Girolamo was still in the ship with a few other crew members, and they watched hopelessly. This was the end of the exciting life of the awesome Giovanni da Verrazano. He will live forever in our heart. There are many commemorations of Verrazano. He has a statue in Battery Park in Manhattan, but Verrazano has the most in Staten Island. A ferry is named after him, and even a league in Staten Island. There is also a statue of him in Greve, Italy. The bridge named after Verrazano was about to be named after John F. Kennedy. Verrazano is very popular in Staten Island and even has a league named after him because he is considered the greatest explorer ever. He spent many of his years as a pirate. In 1485, Giovanni da Verrazano is born, and about 20 years later he moves to France with his family. After finishing his education, Verrazano meets King Francis I in 1523, and 1 year later he leaves for America. After returning, Verrazano goes on another trip to Brazil, and 1 year later he dies.